Hey guys, today I'm going to be making a sawbuck. I'm hoping that it's going to make cutting my firewood a lot easier. I get a lot of offcuts slabs from the sawmill that you can't really do anything with except cut them into firewood. So far I've just been kind of throwing them on the ground beside the mill, and when I get a pile big enough I cut it up, but that's not working out too good anymore. The ground gets frozen and wet and snowed on, and then you just end up with a big clump frozen mess kind of thing. So what I want to do today, build this sawbuck, hopefully get that stuff up off the ground and make my firewood cutting experience a lot nicer. I did a tiny bit of research before coming out here to build this. I didn't really see much in the way of what I would want to do. I know a lot of people build the X-frame style on that. I kind of have a design in my head. It's pretty simple. I'm gonna make it H-frame style. So I'm gonna grab some of the 2x4s on the pile here behind me, get my sawhorses set up, and go from there. So these are some rough cut 2x4s that I sawed up on the sawmill. They're an actual 2 inches by 4 inches, so they're probably a little bit sturdier than the ones you'd buy at a hardware store, but they're all a little bit over 8 feet, so you could use, standard 8-foot 2x4s to accomplish the same thing. What I'm going to do is make it 12 feet long on 16-inch centers. So I've thrown as many on the sawhorse as I can fit right now, and first thing I'm going to do is I need to split this into 5-footers and 3-footers, and to do that I'm going to use my skill saw here. Alright guys, I got step number 1 done. So now that I got that all done, I'll start putting it all together here on the sawhorse one by one. So I ended up getting all my pieces cut up here. I ended up needing 20 of the 5-footers to give me 10 H's, which also gave me 20 of the 3-footers, but since I only use one per set, I'll only need 10 of those. But I'm going to start putting these together now, and all I've done is measure up 2 feet. This is going to be the bottom end down here, and that'll be the top end up there. So I measured up 2 feet from the bottom, put my crosser piece on. That's what my lumber's going to sit on, and hopefully that'll keep it up nice and high off the ground and keep it from getting covered in snow. For some reason, the woods always seem so much quieter right after you get a snowfall. Except for me, that is. Okay guys, as I'm going along, all I'm using is just a little speed square to make sure that the crosser's square to this upright poles. And you know, it's just, even though this isn't building kitchen cupboards or anything, it's nice to just keep things nice and square as you're going along. Okay guys, that's the second step complete. I've got each frame sitting over here completed and the last one on the sawhorse. So gonna move on to the next step here, and that's just gonna be connecting them all together. So I had to think there for a couple minutes how I actually wanted to go about putting this together. Just because of all the snow on the ground and I don't want to be crawling around there really, I decided to actually put it together upside down. That way most of the work I'm doing is going to be up here. I hope I don't regret this because it's probably going to be heavy to tip over when I'm done, but worst case scenario, we have a few tools around the farm, so I could come back here and flip it over with something. Alright guys, I have the frame all assembled now. That gives me 12 feet long on 16-inch centers. It's still going to be pretty flimsy the way it's sitting there right now, so I'm just going to go around and add a bunch of bracing with 1-inch lumber, and that should help strengthen it up a lot. So most of the lumber that I have is 1x6 for 1-inch lumber. So I'm just going to take the mill here, rip this down to 3 inches, and that'll give me the size that I need. So I've got this all put together now, have some bracing on it. It seems pretty solid. I'm going to try flipping it over the right way and see how that looks. It is heavy. Right, can actually give you the first look of how this thing actually works. So what you do is you just put all your firewood in here. For me it'd be slabs, but you could use, you know, limb wood or anything really. And then these posts, since they're 16 inches apart, that will give you 16-inch pieces of firewood, as long as you keep running your chainsaw down the same side of each support. And when your wood's sitting on here, it'll sit up here, and that allows your chainsaw to pass through. And as long as you stop before here, you won't be actually cutting into your sawbuck. Now, I made these cross pieces, if you remember at the start of the video, 3 feet long. You can make them however long you want. Obviously, the wider you make it, the more room you're going to have, but you do have to keep in mind the length of your chainsaw bar. So I won't be able to come through in one pass and cut everything with my chainsaw, but I planned it out so that I can do one pass on this side with my chainsaw, walk around to the other side and do the other pass, and then that'll allow me to cut all the way through. For me, it was worth doing that. I get a lot of slabs off the sawmill, so I wanted something pretty big that could hold a large amount at one time, so I didn't have to be breaking out the chainsaw and cutting a little bit of firewood every couple days. I don't know what this thing weighs, but I could barely push it over, so I know there's no way I'm lifting or dragging this over to where I want to set it up. I'm gonna go get a loader, and that will be my way of getting it to where I want to have it set up. Got a bit of work to do over there before I can do that, so that might be what I do in the next video. Thanks, bye.